Hello students. So students, in the previous class in this chapter, that is microorganisms, we were talking about that of the nitrogen fixation. Actually, we were discussing about the agricultural uses of the microorganism, and in which we have seen that the microorganism also used, it help in fixing the nitrogen, and that is done by the help of the nitrogen fixing bacteria. So it is the nitrogen fixing bacteria which help in fixing the nitrogen in that of the soil, and the reason that why we are doing this, why we are fixing the nitrogen. So actually the nitrogen is necessary for that, it is essential for the formation of the amino acid, it is essential for the formation of the nucleic acid, and as well as it is also used in the formation of protein. And these all are very essential for the survival of a living organism. So because of that we need nitrogen. So since the plants are not able to take nitrogen from the atmosphere, so there is a need of a thing which help in providing the nitrogen to the plant. So it is the bacteria, that is rhizobium, which help in fixing the nitrogen which can be used by the plants. Now from the plants we used to take the nitrogen, that is the protein, and this will be utilized in our body. When animal excrete, when the plant die or the animal die, we used to release this nitrate again into the soil. And as well as this nitrate again undergoes the denitrification, and finally it will enter into the atmosphere in the form of a nitrogen gas. So this is how the process of the nitrogen occur, how the nitrogen get distributed from the atmosphere to the soil and again to that of the atmosphere again. This whole process we call it nitrogen cycle. So basically what happened in case of a nitrogen cycle, students, so we have seen here, that is the atmospheric nitrogen, it will be fixed with the help of the bacteria. But there are some other conditions also which are helpful in fixing the nitrogen, and that is called as lightning. So it is the lightning which help in fixing the nitrogen also, and in this case in the lightning process, the nitrogen it get converted into. So the lightning also help in the fixing of that of the nitrogen, students. Okay, so this nitrate will reach to the soil and finally this process occurs. So denitrifying bacteria, it help in converting the nitrogenous compound into the nitrogen again into the atmosphere. So this is how the process of the nitrogen fixation and denitrification occur in that of the nitrogen cycle. It is called the nitrogen cycle because here the nitrogen which was used up in the atmosphere again returned back to the atmosphere. And because of that, so it's a kind of a cycle, students, started from the atmosphere and again reaches to the atmosphere. So it's a kind of a cycle, so this we call as the nitrogen cycle. Now in case of the nitrogen cycle only, here, whenever we talk about this nitrogen is used up, so because of this nitrogen cycle, the amount of the nitrogen remain constant in the atmosphere. Okay, so this is how the process goes on and used up by the plants and the animals. So rhizobium is there. Now rhizobium is not only is the bacteria which is responsible for fixing the nitrogen, but it is Clostridium or Azotobacter. These all are also helpful in fixing the nitrogen in the soil. Okay, these are also the nitrogenous compound which get fixed into the soil. Okay. Now moving on, this was about that of the about the agriculture uses. Let us see that how this nitrogen is, how the microorganisms are helpful in the environment also. So let us see here the environmental uses. Environmental uses of microorganisms. So microorganisms such as bacteria, and fungi. And fungi act as decomposers. So microorganisms such as bacteria and fungi, they act as a decomposer. What is the role of the decomposer, students? Decomposers used to carry the process of the decomposition in the field. It means when the dead and decaying organic matter are present, this will help in clearing the environment by breakdown of these dead and decaying organic matter, and ultimately helping removing it from that place. So we can say that being saprophytic in nature, the fungi used to act on the dead and decaying organic matter. They used to take the nutrient from them and also help in cleaning that of the environment. Now not only this, or let me write it here, that these used to obtain the nutrients from the dead and decaying organic matter. From dead and decaying organic matter, and transfer it to the soil. So they are not only good for the environment, but they are good for the agriculture also, since they help in providing the nutrient back to the soil. So whenever we say that when a dead animal is there or a plant is there, so nutrient which is present in it goes back to the soil. Actually these nutrients reaches to the soil with the help of the decomposer. So decomposer used to decompose them, and they used to extract the nutrients and send it to the soil again. Now not only this, there are some of the bacteria which is used in the sewage treatment. So we can write here the next one, and that is some bacteria are used in sewage treatment. Some bacteria are used in sewage treatment plants, where they help in decaying the waste of organic matter. So these are also used in the sewage treatment plants, where they are used in the wastewater treatment, where it will be used as it help in the decomposing the waste present in that of the organic matter. So this is how we can say that the microorganism help in decomposing the dead and decaying organic matter, and finally it help in cleaning that of the water, it help in cleaning the land, and this is how it help in cleaning the environment also. So this is how they are useful for our environment also. So we have seen all the things which is included in that of the environment, in that of the useful microorganism or the uses of the microorganism. The first thing that we have seen, student, is the commercial uses, in which we have discussed that whatever the microorganism used in the food products, Then the second thing, that how it is used in making medicine. Third one, we have seen that it is also used in increasing the fertility of the soil, that is, it helps in increasing the quality of the crop, and which we will include in that of the agricultural uses. And finally, decomposers are there that will help in cleaning the environment by decomposing that of the organic matter, dead and decaying organic matter, so help in clearing the environment. So this is the environmental uses. Let us see now. So useful microorganism we have seen, but we are knowing that the microorganisms are not really useful. But whenever this term came, student, regarding that of the microorganism, the first thing that came into our mind, that microorganism, it means the thing which causes disease. It means microorganisms are what? Which causes the disease, which are also harmful for us. So let us see that what are the harmful effects of the microorganism. Harmful microorganisms. So we will now discuss about the harmful microorganism. So basically, harmful microorganism is what? That are the disease caused microorganism. So instead of writing only the harmful microorganism, we can write it the disease causing microorganism. So pathogens, for that we should know the first term, that is the microorganisms that cause disease, in living organisms are called pathogens. They are called as pathogens. So microorganism that causes disease in the living organism, they are called as the pathogens. Okay, now pathogens are everywhere. Okay, so pathogens basically include the pathogenic agents like viruses, bacteria, fungi, protozoa, and protozoa. So these are what? These are the pathogenic agents, students, which used to move from one person to another. Now these pathogenic agents which are moving from one person to another, that causes disease. And this kind of a disease, in which the disease gets transferred from a healthy person to the from an infected person to the healthy person, that we call as the communicable diseases. So we can write it here, that is the disease which get transmitted from patient to a healthy person. Patient to a healthy person is called communicable disease. That is called as a communicable disease, called cable disease. Okay, so the disease which is caused by or which get transmitted from a patient to a healthy person, we call it as a communicable disease. And the communicable disease get transmitted through many ways, through many means, and that can be air. It can be transmitted through that of the direct contact. It can be transmitted through food and water. It can be transmitted through that of the insects also. So these are the different means by which the communicable diseases get transmitted. So let us write that the various means by which communicable diseases spread, communicable disease spread are air, then food and water, then direct contact and insects also. Okay, so these are the various means by the communicable disease used to spread. So if you start with that of the air, then we will see that we know that the disease which gets spread through the air is very common, and that is a common cold. Cough is there. So when a person sneezes, then what happens? The sneeze that consisting of the water droplets, so along with that water droplet, the viruses will come outside and get spread into the air. So the person who is sitting next to him, or the person who is very close to that other person, so this gets transmitted. So when the other person, who is healthy person, inhale the air, then this will enter into the body of that person. Okay, and causes the disease. So then when it enters, it becomes active, starts multiplying and causes the disease to the other person also. So this is how the disease gets transmitted in the air. So we can write it here, that is air. So in case of the air, student, pathogen may enter our body through breathing. Our body through breathing. And when a person suffering from flu, cough, cold, suffering from flu, cough or sneeze, then what happened? He releases thousands of germs. He releases thousands of germs along with the releases thousands of germs in the air. So this happened when a patient, when an infected person, he used to sneeze or cough, then the thousands of germs along with that of the sneeze will come out in the air. Now, when a healthy person breathe in, breathe this air, he can also get infected. Okay, so when the healthy person, he breathes this air, he can also get infected from it. Okay, now let us see what are the some of the common diseases which occur through that of the air. So these are that is measles. That is measles are there. Polio, measles, polio, tuberculosis. These are some of the diseases which spread through the medium of air. And if we want to save ourselves from such kind of a diseases, students, we can do it by using a handkerchief while sneezing or coughing. So this will help in preventing the viruses to enter into the air, and finally the healthy person will not going to inhale such kind of a viruses through their nose, through their nostrils, and ultimately the person will be safe from such kind of disease. So by this we have come to know that the viruses also get they get transmitted through that of the air. Okay, so air is also a means of a spread of the diseases. Second one is the food and water. Food and water. How food and water is helping students? It's a cause of the disease, students. So pathogens may enter our body through the food we eat. The food that we eat, or water we drink, the food that we eat or the water that we drink. Some of the waterborne diseases are typhoid, then hepatitis, cholera. So cholera, hepatitis, these all are what? These are the some of the diseases which are the waterborne diseases, students. Okay, so basically the pathogen can enter into the food or water that we drink and causes disease to us. Okay, now the next one is that microorganism not only enter into our body through food and water but also enter through the direct contact. So let us write it the next one, and that is through direct contact. Okay, it also gets transferred through direct contact. So we can write it here that pathogens may enter our body, it may enter our body through any direct contact, with whom? With that of the infected person or with the person who is suffering from this any kind of a infection. Okay, contact with the infected person. with the infected person. Okay, so pathogens may enter our body through any direct contact with the infected person. Some of the common diseases are that spread through direct contact are that spread through direct contact are, that is, ringworm, then chickenpox, ringworm, chickenpox, and flu. These are the diseases which get transmitted through direct contact with that of the infected person. Okay, so pathogens, they get transmitted from the direct contact with the infected person here. Now, not only this, but the pathogens also get transmitted with the help of the insects. So the next means by which these microorganisms get transferred, that is insects. So here we can write it that some insect like that of mosquitoes. So some insects like mosquitoes and flies carry pathogens. Now these pathogens stick to the body of the housefly. Pathogens stick to the bodies of the houseflies. When they sit on the garbage and animals excreta. When they sit on the garbage and animal excreta. When they sit on the garbage and that of the animal excreta. So basically what happened, they used to sit on the animal excreta, student, and after that they used to go and sit the uncovered food. They sit on the food material which is uncovered, and thus we can say the pathogens which was present in the excreta get transmitted to that of the food. So when the person they used to eat, then what happened? The pathogens will enter into the body. If we talk about the mosquito, so mosquito used to suck the blood. So when they will suck the blood of an infected person, that blood which consisting of the plasmodium, which consisting of the pathogen, that will be carried, that will also get sucked into the mosquito's mouth. And when the same mosquito when bite to a healthy person, so this pathogen gets transmitted to the blood of the person and thus causes malaria. So we can write it here that later these flies transfer pathogen transfer pathogen to uncovered food items. Uncovered food items and contaminate it. Contaminate them. Now any person will eat it, will get infected. So, when a person eat this contaminated food, get infected. Okay, so when a person consume this food which consisting of the pathogen who will get infected.